Everyone, once again, this is Mr. Raymond J.K., your teacher in Practical Research 1. Do you still remember our previous lesson class in third quarter? So now, this is the continuation of our discussion in quarter 4. So our lesson for this afternoon is all about qualitative research design. But before we have to start, I'm going to present to you what is the objective of our study. The objective of our study is chooses appropriate qualitative research design. Okay, so it's before all this starts, let us first our first activity. Let's try this. It's guessing time. For the task 1, you're going to guess the sample words below. Look at the words presented to you right now. Okay. Are you finished? Okay, very good. Now let's proceed. Always remember, class, that in choosing carefully an appropriate qualitative design aligned with the problem, inquiry research question can never be overemphasized, according to Brown and Clarks in 2013. It suggests the following questions as useful as you think of a suitable research design. 1 is, what do you want to know? 2, why do I want to know it? 3, what assumption I'm asking or making about research and knowledge? Or what are the theoretical and methodological positions? 4, what type of data best answer this question? Number 5, what type of data will I use to tell and what to know? The answer is 2, and the previous question is not always the same. How much data will I need? If my research involves participants, A, who will need to collect data from? Another is, how will I access the recruit these participants? Another is, how will I analyze the data in order to answer the question? What particular ethical issues do I need to consider? Are there practical factors that I need to take account? Okay, very good. You understand about qualitative research design. Now let's proceed. What are those qualitative research design? Several research designs have been advanced in conducting qualitative research by experts for different goals or purposes. 1 is a case study. The case study is of a person, program, or event in a defined time frame according to Liddy and Omrod in 2001. What are the examples of these? 1 is about drug rehabilitated teenagers or transgenders, gay marriages, and success stories. Another one is ethnography. According to Macmillan in 1993, defines as interactive, which requires a relatively extensive time in a site to systematically observe, interview, and record processes as they occur naturally at the selected location. Example of this, the study of the minority group. Another one, number 3, is content analysis. What do you mean by content analysis? This research design calls for a detailed, systematic examination and content of particular, identifying patterns, themes, or biases, as Liddy and Omrod 2001 mentioned. Another is phenomenological study. Criswell in 1995 said, it points out the essence of this study is to search for the central underlying meaning of the research participants' experiences. Example of this is comfort women in World War II, or it can be a drug-dependent drug-dependent or risky-trafficked women. And number 5 is a grounded theory. This grounded theory, in this kind of approach, theory or general patterns undertaking will emerge as begins with initial codes and develop into broad themes or domains and redounds into grounded theory or bound interpretation. Now, let's explore and apply. Fill in the blank or supply the correct terms found below, then write your answers in the space provided. So these are the following words. We have case study, grounded theory, ethnography, phenomenological study, and a content analysis. Are you ready, guys? Yes, are you ready? So let's start now. For number 1, blank, it studies a person, programs, or event in a defined frame. Number 2, this research design calls for a detailed and systematic examination of the content of a particular body of materials for the purpose of identifying patterns, themes, or biases. Are you ready for number 3, class? Okay, let's proceed. It defines a research as interactive, which requires relatively in the sight of systematically observe, interview, and record process as they occur naturally at the selected location. And for number 4, it points out the essence of the study, the research for the central meaning of research participants' experience. And for number 5, this kind of approach, the theory or general pattern of underlying will emerge as begins with initial codes developed into redounds into grounded theory or a broad interpretation. Are you finished, class? Okay, right. Now let's proceed. Let us check first this activity before we're going further. For number 1, the question studies a person, program, or event in a defined time frame. The correct answer is a case study. Correct. And number 2, this research calls for design a detailed systematic examination of content of particular body of materials or theme or biases. What is your answer, class? Well, correct. It is a content analysis. Another number 3 is it defines a research as interactive, which requires relatively time, insight, systematic observe, interview, and record process as they occur naturally in selected location. The answer is, what is your answer? Okay, ethnography. And number 4, it points out the essence of the study and the search for the meaning of the research participants' experience. What is your answer, class? Again, grounded theory is correct. And the last, number 5, is this kind of approach, the theory of general pattern of underlying will emerge. It begins with initial codes, develops and redounds grounded theory or broad interpretation. What is your answer? Who can guess? Okay, it's phenomenological study. Who got 5? Wow, majority of you got 5 because you really listen our discussion. Now let's proceed to the next. Okay, for the next this will be your assignment for next session. Your assignment is all about sampling procedures. Please do research about this topic. So once again, this is your teacher Raymond J. Kane saying goodbye and mabuhay.
Oh, let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in star, so won't get lost now. To the moonlight, eyes you